Hi, I'm Chuck Dorsett for Weaver Leathercraft, and we are putting together two incredibly tight, clean leather journal covers. Now in Chapter 3, we dropped in our feathers. Could not be happier with those. Those came out beautifully. Now Chapter 4, we're going to set up the hand sew. We're going to break this into two chapters. First off, because the chisel line, just as important as our stitch line in making a clean, consistent stitch. But secondly, once we get our veg stand portfolio chiseled, we're going to pop off our pockets and we're going to dye that in Chapter 5. We'll dye, add a top coat. Chapter 6, we're going to come together and hand sew both. Now, there's so much I want to say about hand sewing. I'll do my best not to roll here. But for us crafters, we don't need an expensive sewing machine. In fact, a set of chisels, some needles, and some thread, and we are rolling. And we can make a stitch line that's going to look just like a machine stitch. But at the same time, we can do that on our kitchen table or our coffee table. And you're going to be amazed at how easy it is to hand sew, how fast it is, and how clean it looks. Now, any tool, chisels, thread, needles, any tool, leather, or liquid I use in this video, weaverleathercraft.com, or check below. We've got links going to take you straight to our website. So let's do this. Let's step over here, add some glue, panels, and a chisel. Now let's start with our field journal. Because this is smaller and easier, we'll jump over to this very shortly. But I need to draw these in, or drop these in. And we're going to come in 3 inches. These are overcut, so I don't want to use these to mark. So let's take a straight edge. I'm just going to put a small mark at 3 inches in from each side. Just enough to see. There we go. All right, last mark, 3 inches. Cool. Now, we don't necessarily need to mark these because when we drop these in, we want our groove line in, but we'll be able to see them easy enough. So I'm going to take some Leathercraft cement. Now, we don't need a really strong glue here. Well, we could certainly go with contact cement, but really, our glue just needs to hold our flaps down long enough for us to get our chisel in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add glue on the outside, the 3 inches, the outside edge, on both sides, but I am not going to put glue in between. And my last edge. Now you'll notice too, I'm wicking the glue on. First off, that's going to keep me from getting glue on my work surface. I don't want glue on the face of my project. But at the same time, I don't want a huge amount of glue here. I want this just to be right on my edge, so when we sew this down, I don't have glue on the inside, keeping us from getting our journal cover inside. All right, so let's add just a little more to that corner. Good enough. Let's wipe that off on a rag. Now, we're going to drop this in, groove side in, and I'm going to bring that right to my 3-inch marks. Now, we've overcut this, so let's don't let that confuse us and bring that right to our edge. So bring that in right there, and we have ample room to trim. That looks good. All right, let's set our glue aside. We've got open glue on the table, so as soon as we're done with that, let's get that out of our way. We're going to press that down. Now let's just take our pounding board. This is called Poundo board. It's a great cutting surface, but I'm simply going to lay that on top of my journal, and I'm going to give that about 20 minutes, let that glue set. All right, so we've given our glue plenty of time to dry. Patience is not one of my virtues, but in this situation, we need to give our glue time to set. Now I'm going to use my body as my cutting edge. If you are not comfortable, do not hesitate to drop your straight edge in there. But 2, if I keep my blade angle good and low, I'm going to cut this right to the body every time. There we go. Now look at that cut. That looks like it was die cut. That's exactly why we do this. So I'm going to cut the other sides, and then we're ready to chisel. And my last cut. There we go. Very nice. Look at that cut. That is beautiful. All right, let's jump over to my stamping table. We're going to chisel, but that way you can get a good view of that chisel and exactly what we're doing. Now to chisel our field journal and our portfolio, we're going to use my favorite chisel. It's an 1/8 inch tine, 1/8 inch spread, flat. This gives me a beautiful stitch line. It's 5 stitches per inch. Now we've got multiple sizes. All of these are going to work for us, but let's pull out our 4 for right now. Now, you'll notice too on the back, I don't have a groove line here because when I chisel through, I'm going to do my best to keep my chisel straight up and down, but I'm not going to hit a groove line no matter what I do. So therefore, if I have a groove line and then my stitch line a little bit in either side of that, it's going to look terrible. So no groove line here, and it'll look just like a stitch line. It'll be fine. Now, we're going to drop our chisel in. We could certainly measure this out to where our chisel straddles the edge of our flap every time. But what happens then is we have to try to measure this out as we get down to our corners. We're not going to worry about that. Basically, I'm going to come in roughly half a tine width. I'm going to drop my chisel right in that groove line, and I'm simply going to hit that. Now, I don't have to hit that hard enough to go through my leather, my board, into my quartz. I simply need to get through. So let's pull that up. Now, I don't see tines there. So let's go a little bit harder. There we go. All right, perfect. I can see the tip of every tine. Now, when I'm pulling my chisel out, I don't want to work left and right. Let's go back and forth, and I can simply drop my finger there, press down, and that's going to bring that out. Very cool. Now, next step, I'm going to drop my first tine in my last hole. That will always give me a consistent distance between my stitches. So there we go. Now we can check. All right, from here on, I'm not going to really need to check. I know now how hard I need to hit that. Let's easily work that back out. First tine, last hole. Now, as we get down to our corner, now I want a chisel hole as close into that corner as I can get it, because I don't want my thread making this big jump across my corner. If it makes a small jump, no issue, because we're going to clip our corners, and that will actually look like it was designed that way. So let's drop that chisel in. First tine, last hole. There we go. All right, we're nice and clean right in that corner. Now let's do this. We're going to swing around. I'm just going to eyeball this. I could certainly measure it out, press my tines in, drop my first tine, one tine length away from that hole. I just don't want so little leather there that when we pull tension, it pops. So let's come out again, about 1/8 of an inch, work our chisel out. Well, that looks good, very clean and straight on our backside. And of course, that looks excellent on our front. So I'm going to work my way all the way around back to my starting point. Now, I'm coming around to my end now, and I've jumped up to my 6. That really covers some distance nicely. But let's jump over to our 4, since we're going to drop in kind of a little bit of a spacer here. So I'm going to, right here, again, first tine, last hole, or that was actually the first hole we punched. And I'm going to work my way in this direction, because this is either the front or the back, and you'll see what I'm talking about. So again, first tine, last hole. Now I'm going to get down to here. That's just a little too close for 2 holes, but also too, it's just a little wide for 1. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take my single tine, and I'm simply going to drop a stitch right in the middle there. All right, so that small amount of distance there, difference, will not be noticeable. All right, that looks great. Now let's jump around here. That's a perfect corner. You can see I've got a tine right here and a tine right here. They don't always work out that way, but that is perfect. All right, so this is set and ready to go. Now that we've punched our tine holes or our chisel holes, no kidding, and you're not going to believe me, but you'll see, we're going to be able to sew about 2 inches a minute when we get to that. So let's jump back over here. We're going to do exactly the same thing to our veg tan portfolio. Now for our veg tan, same thing, same exact steps. In fact, I'm really happy with that. I know I keep talking about it, but we did a great job there. Now with our veg tan, again, exactly the same steps. I've already got my mark at 4 inches and not 3, so let's don't get confused there. Simply going to drop in my panels right to those marks. Going to glue exactly the same way, both sides. Then we're going to trim this. Now, with our veg tan, same thing, but it's going to be a little tougher to get our chisel out, so we need to work on that. But also, too, as we move along, our finger will get used to trying to pull this out. But on our veg, 6 is great with our 1 ply distance, but right here, I would probably say go with our 4 tine, simply because that's going to be easier to get that out. So I'm going to drop that in, just like my chisel line on our field journal. I'm going to bring in it about half of a tine, give or take. There we go. Okay, 2 pretty good strikes. I can see my tines. Perfect, all right? But let's too, again, be a little careful here. Let's work that out. Now it does come out pretty easy. We can actually, in fact, jump up to a 6 because we've got a much larger piece here. So it's really going to take us some time to work our way around. There we go. All right, not too bad. Stitch line looks good, very clean, very consistent. So I'm going to work my way all the way around, and like our journal, we'll back up from here. And there we go. Again, just like our field journal, I had a little too much room there, so I've dropped in a single tine, and that again is going to go unnoticed. Now, what we're going to do is I'll pop off the back panels, just bevel the outside of those, and then we'll add some dye, a top coat, and this will be gorgeous. So with our field journal, you can jump to chapter 6 to sew, or follow me to chapter 5, and we'll add some dye.